We haven't found anything that's sort of magical or so special about Earth that those things shouldn't be happening elsewhere. So if you're asking me, do I think aliens are real? Yes. If you're asking me, do I know scientifically? I'll say, not yet, but we're on the road to find out.
Here's a question from Quora. How accurate is Arrival scientifically?
I really like the movie Arrival.
I'm watching this scene here with this astrobiologist lost in wonder and awe and a little bit of terror encountering this alien.
We talk about convergent evolution, that evolution on other worlds would find some of the same solutions. So the idea that they have something that's like fingers for grasping, that makes sense. The idea that they would have this kind of symmetry, just like we have bilateral symmetry, they look vaguely squid-like, vaguely octopi-like. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw complex aliens if they looked somewhat familiar, but not exactly like any organism we had seen before, because again, they'll be responding to the same overall kinds of evolutionary forces. And then you have the other factor where she's trying to communicate, and this alien is doing this weird kind of circular writing, and it turns out that they are trying to communicate with us, and they're as equally puzzled by us. That makes sense, because I think there's this whole idea, something called incommensurability, that it might really be hard to communicate, because they might have very different kinds of cognition, very different notions of reality and time. So I find this alien very convincing.
Utopia Circle asks, how exoplanets are discovered?
You can't directly observe the planet because they're too dim and too far away, but you can notice what the planet is doing to the star. So as a planet orbits a star, because of the gravitational pull of that planet, the star actually wobbles a little bit. So that star is wobbling because there's a planet around it, even though you can't see the planet. So some of the time, the star is coming towards your telescope, and some of the time the star is coming away from your telescope. We call that a Doppler shift. When it's coming towards you, the frequency shifts to a higher frequency. Blue, when it's coming away from you, it shifts to a lower frequency, red. And so our instruments got good enough to detect that slight change, that rhythmic change from blue to red to blue to red. It's a very, very tiny shift in wavelength. And that was the first sign. And then later on, there was a new technique. That's called the transit method. When a planet passes directly in between you and the star, you can notice that little bit of dimming of starlight. It's very tiny because planets are small compared to the star, but if you have a very sensitive measurement of the light of that star over time, when a planet passes just in front of it, the star will dim a little bit. And so if you watch the light curve over time of that star, it'll wobble up and down and up and down and up and down. So you're not so much seeing the planet as noticing the planet is blocking the star
yeah,
bit,
dude.
causing it to periodically dim. It only works when the geometry's right.
Oh! Finally a bounty that pays!
And that star, you'll miss it. So only
Israfel's
about 5% of
Law.
stars have planets oriented in the right plane, the right direction to use that transit. But when things are lined up right,
Money!
it's now, especially with space telescopes, like there was an instrument.
Alright, so 16, 1200, 1300 unidentified. Wow, there's only one page. What if it is identified? What are we looking at? 12, 14, 14, 13, 14, 15, 16, 14. Hell yeah. We're gonna ID it. Good roll, decent roll, good roll. Alright. Let's check it out. 1390s, 69. Holy shit.
And if you look in close, you see this rock is made up of layers. And what we've learned is that those layers are from ancient microbial mats. Some of the earliest life on Earth that formed these layers was then the seafloor microbes, single-celled organisms, using the energy of sunlight, using different kinds of nutrients flowing in the seawater, and organizing themselves into these layers. I'm at your mom's
15.
What is taking NASA so long to find the layers? What active missions are they doing? Well, it's a big universe out there, but we're working on it.
Just gonna do
rovers on Mars searching for the signs of ancient life. We have a mission
I'm just
now
gonna do 1350.
a moon of Jupiter that is home to a vast ocean of liquid water.
1325. That's fine.
Orbiting the Jupiter system and making close passes by Europa in the early 2030s, helping us to
Fuck
understand
yeah.
if the ocean is habitable. What's the temperature, the pressure, what are the flows of nutrients and so forth? Is that ocean a place that could support life? if it is, that would motivate us to send missions in the future that would land on the surface and maybe even tunnel under the ice in submarines to look directly for life on Europa. We also have a mission called in a few years and go to Titan. Titan is a moon of Saturn. It has a thick nitrogen atmosphere like Earth's, and it's loaded with organic molecules, the same kinds of molecules that led to the origin of life on Earth. Dragonfly is going to be basically a nuclear-powered drone that lands on Titan and samples the surface, examines those organic molecules to see if they're the kinds of molecules that may have led to life on Earth, and then it's going to take off and fly to different locations and repeat its experiments. So it's going to be the first time we've actually been able to explore a planet.
That's weird.
Aerial craft that lands multiple places and does these kinds of experiments. We had a mission recently that went to an asteroid called Bennu. It collected over 100 grams of material from the surface of Bennu and brought it back to Earth. So we have in our labs now pieces of asteroid dirt, and what we found.
See if I just close this and then reopen it. There we go.
Multiple places and does these kinds of experiments. We had a mission recently that went to an asteroid called Bennu. It collected over 100 grams of material from the surface of Bennu and brought it back to Earth. So we have in our labs now pieces of asteroid dirt, and what we found is that Bennu is full of the stuff of life. Amino acids. Amino acids are the things, the building blocks that make up proteins, and nucleotides, which are the components that make up DNA and RNA. So that's really exciting. It suggests that not just Earth, but all the planets were being sprinkled with the stuff that basically leads to an origin of life. So again, we haven't found life elsewhere, but we've been finding results that suggest that life should be common. @x/text asks, who came up with the flying saucer design and why did it stick? It turns out that flying saucers go back to a pilot named Ken Arnold, who was flying in the Pacific Northwest in 1947, and he reported something weird that he saw. What's interesting is that he never even said it was saucer shaped. He didn't understand, and he described its motion as skipping like a saucer. I think it's like when you skip rocks or something and it kind of bounces like that. That's what he apparently meant. And then it got reported in a newspaper as pilot sees mysterious flying saucer, and thus a huge trope was born. Hub2 from Reddit asks, how did the first life form on Earth emerge? Well, we know something about the most primitive organisms on Earth because we study modern organisms and how they're all related. There's something called a VUCA, the last universal common ancestor. Even though we don't have an example of it, by seeing how different life forms have evolved from it, we can reconstruct the properties of that last universal common ancestor.
Oh man, I don't have God of War with this tree.
We know that it was a single-celled organism. We location. Some people think seafloor vents. Some people think tidal areas, little ponds that were being wet and dried or freezed and thawed would have led to the right kinds of chemistry. We also have experiments that show that the building blocks of life are very easy to do. Mix gases that were in the primitive atmosphere and spark them with energy sources that were likely present, lightning, ultraviolet light from the sun. You easily create these molecules like amino acids and other chemicals that clearly were important to the origin of life. You had gradual increase in chemical complexity. You probably had the formation of very simple membranes which separate inside from outside and allow the creation of cells. There are certain chemicals which you put them in water and they create membranes. We call them vesicles. We know the necessary chemistry. We know what some of the earliest life was like. We're sort of closing in on it from multiple directions. Next question. Wind Dancer or WTF happened to Ceres? Ceres is a dwarf planet. It's basically one of the largest objects in the asteroid belt, but we call it a dwarf planet because it's large enough to be grounded by gravity. And recently, we sent a spacecraft there and we found some surprising things. Most surprising, you see this large crater in the center of this image. It's bright and white, and what we found is that's a salt deposit. And that salt deposit indicates that there was water, and it suggests that this was a water world at one point and may still even have liquid water on the inside. This is very exciting to astrobiologists
chest.
Still have
Big chest.
oceans. So the more we explore the solar system, the more we're surprised by the level of activity on some of these worlds that we thought were dead. New Language 4727 asks, are there good scientific explanations for UFO sightings, such as the USS Nimitz encounters in 2004? There are some intriguing...
I got another one, right?
reports, and
Yeah.
the USS Nimitz one is rather strange, you know, the ocean boiling, some object that didn't look like a human-made object seeming to fly at great speed and so forth. I don't know how to explain it, but the bottom line is we see no reason to think this has anything to do with astrobiology or any kind of extraterrestrial technology. One of the videos that was recently popularized was taken by pilots. If you look at that video, it does look like something moving really fast, but it turns out if you analyze information we do have, a lot of that can be explained by parallax. That is the motion of the camera to make something look like it's moving much faster than it is.
I love it when they all just get fucking stuck in a little spot like this. These are the best. Not much drop though.
But as of now, I've not seen anything that tells me, aha, this is an extraterrestrial mystery. It's more like a plausible terrestrial mystery, but documentation. Ashkir asks, what is the closest another habitable planet could be? It's probably roughly 4 light years. That is Proxima Centauri, which is in the nearest star system to Earth, which again, for perspective, the galaxy is about 100,000 light years. So 4 light years on the scale of the galaxy is very
Ooh,
close.
cards!
All the spacecraft we've launched,
Pokemons! Look at all these chests. 10 FE, let's go.
on their way out, and they will maybe encounter another star system in something like 100,000 years. But of course, it would be millions of years before one would actually sort of wander into something other than a star. Fella on a mission asks, why is water essential for life on other planets? Everywhere on Earth where there's life, there's water. And almost everywhere on Earth where there's water, there's life. Water is sort of a universal solvent that allows life to happen. Basically, we are organic molecules dissolved in water, dancing together and doing complex things and reproducing themselves. As far as we can tell, that's what life is. You clearly need a liquid
No
medium
more chests.
because the molecules have to come together in this complex 3D.
Wait, I missed 7 monsters? Dude, I gotta go find them.
They won't do it. So as far as we can tell, you need a liquid for life. Water
Where you
is
guys hiding?
commonly
Where you
in the
hiding?
universe and has those properties of interacting with organics that we have not been able to mimic with any other chemical in a lab.
Up
So
here,
we don't know
yep,
for
there they
sure
are,
that the
little
universe couldn't have done
bastards.
it in some other way. Maybe we'll be surprised and find life in ammonia or methane or some other liquid. But as far as we can tell, water is the key to life in the universe. So Gabe 3115 asks, what do we think about assembly theory? So assembly theory attempts to describe the nature of life. What is the difference between living matter and non-living matter? How could we recognize that? Well, most of the universe is made of very simple
Okay,
molecules.
rare
like this
monsters, so...
carbon dioxide. That's not a very complex molecule, but if you look at the molecules of life, like amino acids, you can see carbon, 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 carbon bonded together in complex ways with other hydrogens, and they get much more complex than this, and they can be hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of atoms bonded together. But you can see that this is very different from these simple molecules. And what assembly theory does is characterize the complexity of molecules in a way that tells us when something is complex enough so that it must have been made by life. One Skippy Dino asks, can someone give me a short explanation of the Drake equation and the probability of us being alone? I happen to have a copy right here. It's a way of thinking through the probability of extraterrestrial life that was devised by astronomer Frank Drake in the early 1960s. Frank Drake was the first one to actually point a radio telescope elsewhere from Earth and start to listen to see if he can find alien signals. And to help think through the probability of finding those signals, he came up with this really pretty simple equation. N is the number of communicating civilizations out there.
I'm not gonna buy that many.
That's just the rate of star formation in the galaxy. F sub P, the probability of planet formation around those stars. N sub E, the number of habitable planets per star. F sub L, the fraction of planets that have an origin of life. F sub I is getting into more speculative territory.
And
fraction
Elite,
of planets with
select.
life where intelligent life evolves. And of course, we only have one example. It's Earth. And then F sub C is even more speculative. That's the fraction of planets with intelligent life that have communicating civilizations that are sending or possibly receiving messages, finally multiplied by L, or the average longevity of communicating civilizations. If communicating civilizations don't last long, perhaps because they do themselves in through nuclear war or climate change or some other process, then the numbers suggest that civilizations that we could communicate with are probably very rare and might be hard to find. On the other hand, if L is long, because some civilizations can last a very long time, they solve their problems, they live sustainably on the planet, then the math works out that there should be lots of civilizations out there that we can find. So the numbers vary widely depending on how you estimate some of the primary factors. But some of these factors we do now know pretty well. We know the star formation rate in the galaxy, and importantly, we've recently discovered that planets are very, very common. That tells us that as long as the origin of life is not super, super rare, there must be lots and lots of planets out there with life. Chad from the future asks, why doesn't the Europa Clipper deploy something into the moon to check for life? At one point, there was the idea of including a lander on Europa Clipper, but it was decided that the real point of this mission is just to characterize Europa and decide if it is habitable. We'll then know which locations on the surface are the right locations to send a lander, whereas now we would sort of be guessing. Also, it costs a lot to send a lander, and the more complex you make the mission with an orbiter and a lander and other pieces, the price goes up and then you're less likely to have the mission at all. So if Clipper does confirm, as we suspect, that Europa is a habitable world, you can be sure that in the future we will be sending landers to directly search for life. Browner555 asks, what is Area 51 actually used for? Well, I can tell you. No. Just kidding. Area 51 is a place where experimental military aircraft are tested. This is common knowledge, and that's all I know, and I've seen no evidence that it's Rinse the Plates First asks, what is the Fermi paradox? So the Fermi paradox is named after the great Italian-American physicist Enrico Fermi, who famously asked, where is everybody? With all the possible life forms and civilizations in the galaxy, and with a galaxy that is billions of years old, why aren't there obvious signs of extraterrestrial life? That's really what we mean by the Fermi paradox. In my view, it's not really a paradox because we haven't really looked yet very thoroughly.
Ooh, Secret Realm! Let's go.
Jill Tarter, who's one of our great SETI scientists, has likened it to if
Give me the
the
loot.
universe is an ocean, we've basically searched a teacup full of water. Even though we've been searching with radio telescopes for 60 years now, if you look at the numbers we've looked at carefully at the frequencies we've analyzed compared to the amount of search that it's just a teacup in the ocean. So we could have easily missed it. Infinity Sciences asks, what kind of
Give me I need more!
from a very far
No, that's it for real.
It's an interesting one. If you were an alien living on Earth, you might notice that the atmosphere has changed. You might notice lights from our civilization. Those kinds of
Well, it
things
was fun.
we call technosignals.
30
Just
seconds of
any observation
pure
that
dopamine.
portray the existence of some kind of technological activity or civilization. The only kind of technosignature I can think of from
Oh,
a very
shit.
faraway galaxy would be some kind of
Oh.
incredibly advanced civilization that has actually manipulated the geometry of that galaxy in some way, creating things like Dyson spheres, these large structures in the solar system that are meant to gather all the solar energy from that star and power their technology. And that would put out an unusual infrared signature. So we actually have the ability to look for things like that. When we're talking about the possible abilities of very advanced technologies, you almost have to get really out there. Like Arthur C. Clarke said, any sufficiently advanced technology may be indistinguishable from magic. And the fact is, if you look at how fast technology changes, it's very hard to
What
say
is-
it would be impossible
What am I even
for
looking
some
at?
civilization to create these astro-engineering works that would be visible from distant galaxies. Ulterior Kid 324 asks, what is SETI? Is it just people listening to alien
Okay,
radio
then.
stations? So SETI stands for the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. And it's been mostly radio searches, but more recently now we have what we call optical SETI, where the idea is that they may not be sending radio pulses, they may be sending laser pulses. So with optical SETI, we look in optical visible wavelengths for laser pulses from large stars. We also shouldn't confuse SETI with METI, which is
let's go.
Messages to Extraterrestrial Intelligence, which is more controversial. Some people are opposed to METI for a couple of reasons. One is they think it's arrogant to assume that any one person or program or institution could speak for all of Earth. User 0301 asks, NASA announced it has detected a gas on a planet 120 light years away that might indicate life. How? So one of the things we do is we look for what we call biosignature gases in their atmospheres. A report was published that dimethyl sulfide had been detected in the atmosphere of an exoplanet called K2-18b that might have a habitable watery environment, which would be a very exciting thing to find. Dimethyl sulfide is a gas
This is a terrible map.
associated with life, largely, although there are other ways to make it. So they're not sure that dimethyl sulfide has really been found on this exoplanet. So as far as how we detect gases in the distant atmosphere of an exoplanet, we use spectroscopy. Basically, we observe the amount of light at a range of wavelengths across the visible, the infrared, the ultraviolet spectrum on an exoplanet, and we've learned that patterns in those spectra reveal the existence of different gases. So for instance,
That was
this is a
garbage.
spectrum from an exoplanet called WASP-96b. You can see some of these peaks and valleys. This is a peak that indicates water, which is pretty amazing because water is one of the key gases for thinking about life in the universe. Here's a question from the Ask Historian.
Water is the key
Are there any
gas.
compelling cases of UFO/UAP sightings in history? From an astrobiology perspective, the short answer is no. There are a lot of phenomena in our atmosphere that have not been characterized.
Hello?
There have been things discovered
Are you good,
recently,
homie?
strange high-altitude lightning formations called sprites that were
like-
reported and dismissed. And
It's
then
like
they
the
turn out to
first
be
bug
real.
mob I've ran
There
into.
are strange things in our atmosphere that have not yet been identified. Whether they
Interesting.
alien technology, to me that's a kind of last resort explanation. Even if they are technology, I would probably say it's much more likely that they are human technology than some humans know about and other humans don't. Why we have to resort to aliens to explain this, to me, if anything, that seems kind of a lack of imagination or really a big leap that I wouldn't be prepared to make without some more specific evidence for it. At Redacted Media asks, what if we could see and interact with the shadow biome? What if there's some other form of life on Earth that we're not even fully aware of? What if there's another form of life, perhaps hiding underground or in some place that we think is very uninhabitable because our kind of life couldn't exist there, you know, highly acidic places or places that are so extreme that we think life couldn't exist, that in fact does exist on Earth. And that's the notion of a shadow biosphere. By its very nature, the concept implies something we haven't really encountered or thought of yet. It's the kind of question that's worth our keeping in mind as astrobiologists so that we don't assume that we know everything about life when in fact we're just beginning to understand the possibilities for life in the universe. Here's another good question. Was there ever life on
24.
Mars? What I can tell you is the more we've studied Mars, the more we've learned about its earliest environment. It seems to be similar to the early environment of Earth at the time when the origin of life is believed to have happened. There are
I really
dried up lakes with water.
hate how slow I move.
All kinds of signs that Mars, when it was young, was a wet and warmer place with a more clement climate, with lakes, with flowing water, and most likely with organic molecules.
No.
Mars, we believe, had the conditions for an origin of life. Have we found evidence for early life on Mars yet? No, but we're searching for it. And that's one of the reasons we have these Mars rovers, hopefully someday bringing samples back so that we can examine those rocks in our laboratories on Earth and identify for sure whether there was life. Python11 asks, would a Venus sample return mission be possible? It wouldn't be that easy because Venus has a very thick atmosphere. You can't see the surface because it's surrounded by these thick clouds of sulfuric acid, so battery acid. So it's not an easy place to explore or to get to.
Surrounded by battery
So
acid.
having samples on Earth is so valuable because instead of having physicists up there and do the experiments and radio home the results, you can have a whole Earth laboratory. You can have all the time that you want using all the resources of our laboratory. Poquoro asks, is a habitable planet with no Accessibility for life here is facilitated by plate tectonics, by the motion of the Earth's surface driven by the motion of the interior, which moves the surface around and not only makes mountains and earthquakes and all that, but brings nutrients continually to the surface and sort of renews the surface of the Earth, keeps it fertile. We definitely think tectonic activity is related to habitability, and you would imagine for a planet to be habitable, there needs to be some kind of ongoing geological. Is it absolutely required? We don't know. For instance, there are these ocean worlds like Europa and other places where habitability could just be on the inside, and do not have tectonic activity on the outside. If there were other energy sources and way of recycling nutrients. Coochie Man 127 asks, do you think we detect intelligent life within the next 100 years? So with the James Webb Space Telescope, we're just getting to the
Absolutely.
point where we can identify gases.
Probably a lot sooner than that.
And with future space telescopes, then we will have the ability to really say what's in that atmosphere of this exoplanet and that exoplanet. And once we can do that, then we at least have a chance of finding
I bet we'll find
signature. Similarly, our radio
proof
searches are getting much more
of aliens within the next decade.
with which we're examining the rest of the universe is increasing rapidly, which makes me think again
For sure.
that aliens are there waiting to be found, that within the next 100 years we have a pretty decent chance of finding them. So those are all the questions for today, and thanks for watching Alien Support.
Andrew interviewed Hunter Biden. He interviewed Hunter Biden, and it went exactly the way that you thought.
You know what I mean? Because they think cocaine, Scarface, very cool. Crack cocaine, they think The Wire. Oh, and that too? Oh, absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, they don't know how similar the chemical compounds are. But there's the only difference between...
Ah, I should have switched difficulties.
water and food. Literally. That's it. And those things are pretty much free if you go to a science store. This is free. You can go to your neighborhood convenience store and just get... Anyway, I don't want to tell people how to make crack cocaine, but it literally is a man's jar of cocaine and baking soda. How different is the experience? It's vastly, vastly different. And like for real, I feel really reluctant to kind of have some informed discussion. I know you're not asking me to do that, but have some...
Red monsters gain 3% damage avoidance chance every after taking one hits. What? 3% damage avoidance chance every... It must mean after taking... Wait. 3% damage avoidance after taking one hit.
I know you might not accept it yet, but there will come a day where he learns that that's not true. And I can guarantee you,
I don't like this.
he's gonna learn to fucking play with it. I do. I'm not kidding. Like, remember whenever I said
Oh my god.
and I said he was gonna run for president, he gonna be talking about it? And everybody said I was crazy.
Okay, traveler, can you get your squares out of here?
Another crackhead rapist.
Does crack cocaine make you act?
Damn, this is gonna be one of those spicy maps. Holy shit.
And alcohol? Probably. People think it's crack is being burning. It's the exact opposite.
There's just constantly crazy shit raining down. What is this?
Oh yeah.
Did I even hit this? Give me that 5 FE.
I'm not gonna explain how to make crack, but when you're making crack, so what you do is
Certain bicarbonate, which makes it smokable. That's all. You know, all of these actors, people in the past have talked about they had a problem with cocaine and freezing.
A golden ticket.
They were smoking crack.
So straw on the
What?
stove is the same.
Must be a Sandlord thing.
But close to it. But it's a little bit different. But anyway, you know,
this guy, bro, like
cocaine is starting to only hear these three really true is that there's a thing about crack that is really insidious. And what it is
Bonus! Bonus combo! Give me more bonus combos! Combo number 3, let's go! I don't know what that means, but I like it! Make it rain! This has been a good map. For all the crazy shit that's happening. Good map. This is what profound must feel like.
Ritual to it, there's a ritualized part of it. The combination of all of those addictive behaviors together becomes like really powerful. And the drug in and of itself is a more immediate euphoric sensation.
Didn't you just say you didn't want to get into how euphoric crack was?
Look at something.
And connected to it than, in my experience, cocaine will.
Does it require more frequency to
Update
maintain
to the filter.
Yes. Yes. The capacity to use more than you could otherwise.
Ah, man, it took my sound away.
Ingest it.
So you're kind of saying that cocaine reaches a certain plateau of euphoria
Crack takes
where
it.
you can't necessarily get any
In
higher.
my experience, yes. This is like a PSA. If you want to completely, utterly fuck up your life, you know, I don't think
Okay,
there's
back up here.
anything is necessarily, oh, you're doing it. It's
So,
ridiculous.
item.
About the closest thing that
He's like, well, you can do crack once if you want to see what it's like. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
statement could be true if he was crack cocaine.
That, yeah, at least he's honest about this. Yeah, and what's so crazy is he is just straight up with it. That's he just goes and says this shit.
But fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck him and everybody around him. I don't have to be fucking
It's like-
nice. Number one, I agree with Quentin Tarantino. Fucking George Clooney is not a fucking actor. He is a fucking like I don't know where he is. He's a brand. And by the way, and God bless him. You know what? I see supposedly treats his friends really well. You know what I mean? Buys them things. And he's got a really great place in Lake Como, and he's great friends with Barack Obama. Fuck you. What do you have to do with fucking anything? Why do I have to fucking listen to you? What right do you have to step on a man who's given 52 years of his fucking life to the service of this country and decide that you, George Clooney, take out basically a full page ad in the New York Times on me and James Carter, who hasn't run a race
I love that sound.
in fucking years, and David Axelrod, who had one success in his political life, and that was Barack Obama, and that was because of Barack Obama, not because of fucking David Axelrod, and David Clough, and all of these guys, and the Pod Save America guys, who were junior fucking speechwriters in, you know, on Barack Obama's Senate staff, who've been dining out on a relationship with him for years, making millions of dollars. The Anita Dunns of the world, who's made $40, $50 million off the Democratic Party.
The thing is, yeah, he's actually cooking. Now, what's he cooking? Well,
They're all going to insert their judgment over a man who has figured out, unlike anybody else, how to get elected to the United States Senate over 7 times, how to pass more legislation than any president in history, how to have a better midterm election than anybody in
guys are laughing now, but
I need my beacons to have a sound for sure.
the two most well-reasoned normal people in the Democratic Party are a guy with brain damage from a stroke and a crackhead. Wow.
in history, and how to garner more votes than any president that has ever won.
Okay,
And they're gonna
that's
replace
fine.
their judgment for his. Not to mention, who's Jake Tapper? I don't know. For real though. Is that Tapper have over anything? He has the smallest audience on cable news, and beyond that, I think that the book is right now on Amazon that he put out. I mean, his ratings just went to shit after he put the book out. You know, they did a 2-week infomercial for it. I mean, it was such a money grab, such a disservice to everybody he serves with. The journal opinion.
Okay.
Can I go back to the clip as Macron Hunter Biden, where I said, wait a minute,
Hero memories already has. Divinity Slate, I don't care about that. Skills, I don't care about those. Okay. And I don't know. Whatever. Did anything sell yet? Come on, bro, just sell. Sell, just 1250. These for 21. Candle for 850. Confirm. These for 7.5. Confirm.
White men in America are 45 more times likely to commit a fucking violent crime than an immigrant. And the movie says, well, you got David Axelrod and, Rahm fucking Emanuel. We're so fucking smart, Rahm Emanuel. He said, we got to understand that these people are really mad. And we got to appeal to these white voters. Rahm, the only people that fucking appeal to those fucking white voters.
Buy my stuff.
81 years old. And he got 81 million votes. And he did because, not because he... You got to respect the fact that, bro, this guy, even... He's out there defending his dad, man. He's out there in the trenches. He's like, you know what? No, man. My dad is the man. Like, this is it. Yeah. He's their fucking Trumpian shit, but because he chose. And he said, you can be a failure that doesn't understand it, but still has empathy for transgender people and immigrants. And nobody said, oh, Joe Biden's going to turn us into a socialist state. No matter how much they said it. But these guys think that we need to run away from all values in order for us to leave. I say, fuck you. How are we getting those people back from fucking El Salvador?
I'm not even listening to this.
Yes, Pashan here, and today I'll talk about my league starter for the new Torchlight Infinite League, which is a mind control female. Now, originally I was going to start something a little bit more interesting with one of the new modifiers, but that kind of fell flat. So here we are, mind control. This is one of the most beloved and one of the best league starters over the last few leagues. It is extremely currency efficient, which means in Torchlight that you can get to a high time mark as soon as possible. And in this video, I'm kind of going to talk about my step-by-step progress.
But it's slow as fuck.
No pets needed. The character is not on the battle pass, so free. And yeah, you can just jump in and destroy the game. Before we even start, I'm going to show you a map real quick. This is our main skill, Mind Control. It is a channeled skill, and it basically deals damage to stuff around you while it is channeling. Most important thing about this build, you can go escape, go to battle, and auto channel the skill. This basically turns it into a toggle. So I press 4 once, and now I'm like hands off, right? I'm not even pressing anything to move. I'm just kind of steering in a direction. And while I'm doing this, stuff around me gets hit. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people love this as a league starter. Torchlight is all about automation. In endgame, you are going to most likely be an auto bomber. You're not going to be pressing a lot of buttons. I'm just going to quickly show you a map here. I'm currently in 8-1s, 8-2s. If you know what that means, you know what that means. But yeah, so I'm just going to jump in. At the start of the map, everything I have is automated. We'll go over that in a little bit. But yeah, I press 4, and this is what I do. And I can blink in between twice. I got a little bit of CDR.
Sounds familiar.
I just hold down loot button, and that is about it. And for a league starter, being an auto bomber is quite a luxury. Our defenses are quite decent for what we're doing. We're not really dying all that much. We got to 95 without a problem. We're probably going to get to 96 eventually. But yeah, you just go through and everything around you kind of dies. You can see these light, like violet-ish beams coming out, and they hit enemies. You can't really see it all that well. And yeah, I'll explain the skill in a second. Single target, also totally fine. So the easiest skill description is stuff around you dies while channeling. So you channel, and yeah, I mean, you can see it on the dummy maybe a little bit better, but there you go. There's like this beam
Stuff around
going
you
out,
dies
and as long as
while
you're nearby,
channeling.
it is going to get hit. My current damage with this setup is round about 8-9 billion. With my single target setup around about 50. Traveler 8 I cleared on 5 billion, which was a little bit scuffed, but everything 7 or higher I would say is pretty damn nice. Now damage scaling first up. So this skill is erosion, it's a spell, it is a damage over time. All of those things do count. I guess I should put that in here as well. But yeah, what actually scales the damage? It is a channeled skill, and if you look at the description, it will tell you it gives additional damage, which in this game means multiplicative damage for every +1 max channeled stacks, and you can get that from a lot of different sources. For example, from the Elementalist's focus right here, which is another more multiplier for maximum additional stacks. This is the by far most
taking
important
damage from?
stat and also the hardest one to get. However, in endgame, you're gonna have a extremely broken support gem right here that you're gonna use that will give you like 70-80% more single target, sometimes even more. But yeah, +2 maximum blessings.
Wait,
this
what?
is because target gem. And also the hardest one to get. However, in endgame, you're going to have a extremely broken support gem right here that you're going to use that will give you like 70-80% more single target, sometimes even more. But yeah, +2 maximum blessings. This is because of the hero that we're playing, which we're going to talk about later. But everything goes. Focus blessings, tenacity blessings, whatever you want. For example, I have this ring right here, which gives me max tenacity blessings. I'll explain that a little bit later. But that one is also top tier. +2 levels did get nerfed in this patch, but it is still quite strong. I have it on both my wands. In total, currently with slates and everything, I'm on level 28. But don't stress for that one too much. Reap, I will explain in a second, but basically Reap cooldown recovery rate is very, very strong. A lot of people will tell you about breakpoints. I have not been able to confirm any of those, and I've tried quite a few that people told me. In general, it seems like pretty even scaling down the road, so you don't have to think about that. Increased skill effect duration, super strong. Increased damage, as always. Also incredibly strong. Actually, I did forget.
I thought I had a big
affliction
sale.
effect, which we'll also talk about in the next section. What doesn't work is cast speed, reap duration. We're also going to talk about, and crit. So I can't crit, it's the damage over time, and cast speed doesn't do anything. Now, cast speed will make it so it channels up faster from 0, as you can see right here, which is nice quality of life, especially since whenever you blink, it goes back to 0. But in general, I wouldn't really invest into it too much. Now let's talk about Reap and also Affliction, but Reap is the most important thing to understand about this build. Reap Purification says it settles 25% of the remaining total damage when reaping. I'm not going to overcomplicate this right here, but basically what this means is depending on how much damage is on the enemy at the time, whenever you reap, you deal a amount of that damage immediately, which is insane on the skill because it does have a skill effect duration, but it gets reapplied over and over and over while you're channeling. Basically, the downside of this is that you're supposed to deal the damage immediately, but then you have to reapply it, which isn't really a downside for us at all. Which is why we scale an absolute crap ton of reaps. We have King's Boon right here, which gives us a reap. We have 2 reaps from both our wands. We have some reaps from the passive tree, from our slates, as many as possible. The duration here doesn't matter, just the cooldown, the lower the better. For example, 1 second is basically GG. And then we have Affliction, which is an enemy debuff. You can think about it as the enemy takes double damage over time, but you can increase the effect of it. So if you have 100% increased affliction effect, they take triple instead. 200%, they take ×4, and so on. And the main reason this is so important is because of how easy it is to get on gear. Affliction effect is a basic affix on a lot of gear pieces.
Come on.
And it is incredibly hard to get any
double
sort of damage
rewards.
on most archetypes in that slot. And these are the cheapest to craft, so you're going to be like just there immediately. Other than that, you usually just have res, maybe a little bit of increased damage, and mostly defensive stuff. Affliction breaks that barrier, and you can have well over 150% in total from your body armor, your helmet, your gloves, later also your ring. On ring, it is an advanced affix, but yeah, just stack it as much as you can. You can never really get enough of it. Another thing I'll put right here, because it's a game changer, is life and energy shield on defeat or on kill. So on the passive tree, there are new nodes that you can get with
Order
slates.
complete,
so
easy,
of the
100 FE,
right here.
15,
you can get this
whatever.
on any Goddess of Knowledge slate, or on a corner of divinity, a fallen starlight, whatever. Restore 3% of energy shield on defeat, and earlier on you want on life. This is an absolute crazy game changer with how much enemies come at you. If you don't know, recovery in this game is super rough and is more needed while mapping than maybe on a boss, especially later when energy shield. But this is a game changer. It will make you so much tankier. So get this as soon as possible. Like I said, early version is life. Endgame version is energy shield. And then we have our hero, which is Thea Blasphemer. If you don't know,
Blasphemer.
Heroes,
Blasphemer.
For example, Thea as a hero have different
What the
traits, and they get
fuck?
named by whenever they came out. So Thea 1 was the first one that came out, Thea 2, and this is Thea 3 if you hear people talk about it. Heroes in this game are ridiculously complex with convoluted words and like an absolute arrangement of text that you actually don't have to understand. Now, I did actually sift through these, so I know what they do. I'll make it as easy as possible for you. If you care more, you can also do
What
that,
is he
but this
using?
is the gist of it. Thea gives you a ton of damage from different multipliers. She also gives you Explodey, which is very valuable and hard to obtain in this game.
Explodey.
And she gives you a little bit of movement speed on top. The only thing you need to understand is how Desecration works. So, here's the thing. There's stuff that is called blessings in this game. You can get up to 4 focus blessing, 4 agility blessings, and 4 tenacity blessings, kind of like power, frenzy, and endurance charges in theory. If you get plus to maximum charges, that would mean you get from 4 to 5. So for example, you would think, oh, this ring makes it so I can have 5 agility blessings, but in reality, it's actually the other way around for this hero. That's kind of her quirk. But in return for a +1 that turns into -1, you're also getting 15% more damage on rares and bosses through this desecration effect right here. You can read that here. And it is multiplicative with each other, so it's not like 15 plus 15 is 30% more. It's 15 and then that number times 1.15 and so on and so on and so on. So it is a very strong effect, but it only works on desecrated enemies, and those are usually just rares and bosses. So while this is a strong multiplier, it is not something you necessarily have to get early and is not used as much. She's strong as a whole in general. So her first trade gives you the Explodey and also more erosion damage. Her second trade, there's 2 different ones here. For mapping, you're going to go Tarnished Sage, and for single target, you're going to go Disgraced Minister. This is, once again, a little bit more damage. You don't need to know all of this, but that's the gist of it. And while mapping, you're going to get the 20% attack cost and movement speed. At the start, it's 15. And on the last one, you go left. Basically, always more damage equals good. Now, let's talk about progression. If you go up here
More
to
damage
Pro builds,
equals
you can
good.
use quick builds and then import somebody's character. I will link all of these codes down below in the description. Here is where you import them. Make sure that you don't have a space anywhere. So for example, if there's a space at the start, check or a space at the end. View builds, and then it will open. This is a snapshot. Now, not everything here is perfect. I made a few mistakes as well while leveling. I can't, afterwards, as far as I know, not really change anything if I put like a wrong point in somewhere. But yeah, this is a snapshot of, at the time, I think this was like 2-3 hours whenever I got, I think it was around about level 66. And we'll go through them real quickly. For leveling, you're going to take the first skill you get right from the get-go, which is Haunting Abomination, with the supports. Everything is in here if
Haunting
you want to follow.
Abomination.
Now, if you do want to follow, you can apply all.
I hate
think.
that skill.
Was that it? Yeah, apply all. Build has been applied, and you can kind of follow it. Okay. Like I said, there's going to be mistakes and everything and stuff that's going to change. But yeah, in general, that's how you do it. During the campaign, you're getting these side areas which have these golden portals that you cannot really miss. Scepter of Excommunication is very important. This is one that you farm from one of these side areas. If you get 2 of these, you don't have to think about your scepter or your damage at all anymore. Haunted Abomination is basically just a dot that you put on an enemy, and you just wait until the terror charges up. It's pretty self-explanatory, pretty stupid. The leveling of this build is ridiculous. This character in general, not just this build. Thea 3 is like just, yeah, ridiculous. I don't know how else to describe it. You also get Grace Boots, which are super important. If you don't get them, just, yeah, I'm pretty sure you do get them, but either way. Born in Fire, just a ton of life. You can also take the plus to maximum blessing rings that you get during leveling from one of those side areas. Other than that, you're really just looking for increases to damage. So, for example, we're starting off here with, let me see, the talent tree. We're starting off in God of Deception. So yeah, increased damage, movement speed. This one does actually scale with attack and cast speed. So you
What?
actually do want to get that. And later, once you go into mind control, respec that. You're also going to go for erosion and deterioration chance, which is basically just a more multiplier. You get more here from mixture. Yeah, just more multipliers, and you can see what I'm doing here. Now, the second one is when I swapped to mind control, and I swapped a little bit late, I'm not gonna lie. So this one here, you will see that I'm mind control. I have a lot of different skills, right? You can check that out. Now what I'm going for is Gauze of Phantom Sin, and you should have that from leveling. If you don't, you can go back and farm it yourself or buy it for like 1 FE from the auction house. This one gives you less damage per stack of any blessing, so you want to have as low as possible, and it also gives you +2 blessings. And remember, that means -2 blessings with this character, right? Other than that, I'm really not doing anything fancy. This character kind of builds itself. The most important thing is crafting your wands. I'll talk about that after we're done with the progression section in its own right. But yeah, basically you want wands like this, where you get reap, damage over time, int, affliction. Just as many more multipliers as possible. Don't mind the reaping duration, it doesn't really do anything. Affliction per second is also nice QL. With this version, I was farming tier 7s all day, and it was super, super comfy. Don't forget to actually get int on your memory of origin. Get armor or life on your second one. You're still going to be life based at this point, and movement speed on your third one. And make sure you respect everything accordingly. The third one is T8 ready. This one is, as the name implies, me being ready for tier 8 farming. That means a lot of improvements across the board. I am not yet full energy shield. I'm pretty sure. No, I'm not yet. But I did buy a Twilight Vestment, which is quite expensive. This one means whenever you reap, you get energy shield recharge, so it basically goes back up. And other than that, I just got more energy shield. At this point, I think I had like 2.5k life, 2.5k energy shield, kind of like hybrid. And yeah, as you can see, I have all of these crafted things. I have +1 maximum channel stack on my belt, which is very strong, and I have double Unholy Prayer for the +1 charge. In general, the best charge you get is probably Agility Blessing, because remember, you lose that charge, and Agility Blessing is the worst. So that would be
nice.
the best. Other than that, I improved my memories. I threw a few of these in with Reaping cooldown recovery rate on my slates. Plus, at this point, I have enough energy that I can just straight up get a 6 link for more damage. In order to start farming tier 8s, you need round about 500 million damage, with 1 billion being somewhere the start rate feels really comfy. But to get that next hurdle and get more damage, I actually went energy shield. The reason why going energy shield is so strong in this game is because you can reserve your life, which is +1 aura, and auras in this game are completely busted. I'm talking like 40+% more damage, and you get aura effect on top. So let's import that real quickly. This is the full ES version where I transitioned. In order to do that, you need the Twilight Vestment, so your energy shield recharge actually starts. You want King's Boon, which are also a little bit more expensive. They're
Another
very
secret
solid
realm.
base, give you a ton of extra damage.
Hell
Note that
yeah!
This one, it's obviously a downside, is as low as possible, and the movement speed is as high as possible. Now, there's a good chance you had some life rolls on some of your gear. You want to remove those now. So, for example, I had, I don't know, life here instead of energy shield, right? And I just had to swap them around. But yeah, that's the most important thing. Get as much energy shield on helmet, gloves, belt. Obviously, my implicit is not very good, but it was kind of a budget option. And yeah, your body armor has a little bit. Passive tree has changes. Make sure that some of the modifiers that are life maybe reroll into something else, because they now don't do anything anymore. Now, then I have the day 2 version with good wands, and this one was a little bit of a fail.
Wow.
With how expensive embers are right now, I did pay around about 900
Disappointment.
FEs to craft both of these wands, and it was only like 30-40% more damage. So if you can kind of like delay these a little bit. But yeah, that's what I did. So now I have the +2 to erosion skill level. If you don't know, at level 86, it gets more expensive to craft your weapons, but you can also get different modifiers on it. So for example, erosion skill level. These are basically just higher than the purple ones, which are tier 2. You can also always see this if you click details, tier 2, tier 1. And on this version, I made a few other changes. For example, I now have a pedigree, which gives me dirt. This is basically a talent on the passive tree, which is 15% more, 15% more. Quite strong. A few other stats right here. And I got some fallen starlights, which are decent. Life and energy shield on kill are an absolute game changer in all of these versions. and I would highly recommend getting them. You will die so much less. After that, I have two more. One that is called 10 bill because that's where I did 10 billion damage, and then a move speed version, which is basically just for mapping, use both blurry steps and blink. But let's now go over my current version. All right, so now we're here. It's currently midday 3 when I'm recording this. I currently have a boss damage of around about 14 to 15 billion DPS, and while mapping with movement skills and everything, around about 8 to 9, and I have around 1300 on Ordrak. So let's go over everything. First up, the gear. I still have a lot of the same gear I talked about during progression. As much energy shield as possible, affliction, if you can keep your res, nice. I'm currently actually not res kept because I changed some stuff around, but you definitely want to do that as soon as possible. If you don't know, in this game, res cap is 60%. I still have Unholy Prayer, but other than that, it's basically the same as I showed you earlier. Reaping CDR on your wand, quite strong. Everything else is kind of like a combination of everything.
Combo.
Quite cheap
Combo.
stuff. Still, I did upgrade my memories to level 40, which gives me gives the trait level +1. So you go from 1 to 2, which is a little bit of an extra stuff, and you also get an extra mod down here. What you want here is just percentage max energy shield and any sort of erosion damage, area damage, right? Skill area, spell damage over time. For the fixed affixes up top, you want intelligence, always, super important. You want energy shield. This one is a huge source for you, especially if you swap from life to energy shield. Make sure to replace this one. I didn't catch that for a while and was just running around with a life one. And then the bottom one is movement speed. You don't scale with cost or attack speed. Movement speed is the obvious choice. Now in the skill menu, we have 2 candles here. The probably most expensive item I have on my character is this candle. It is currently over 1000 FE, and this one is holy worth it. So this gives you control spell level 1, which is 20 to 30% more damage. I forgot how much it exactly is, but it's like having a 7th link. Super strong, save up for it later. Otherwise on candles, getting +1 to maximum channel stacks is extremely good. Almost as strong as this.
One
I might
more.
even add, otherwise get like AoE resistances, maybe a little bit of increased damage. On skills, obviously mind control with the best support right here. Maybe a little bit of increase.
Can you grudge instead of reaping agony? I'm at 16. 18. Maybe that is another double curse now. Maybe that's the play. Oh, I got a dream. God, I fucking hate how slow this shit is. Getting stuck on roots. 5FE. Look at all the mechanics of this map. Five mechanic map. Wild. Oh, just kidding. The pirate one was from before. Ooh. And okay, done for now. Dude, I need someone to buy my big dick items. 700. Okay. Check out everything. G. What do these letters mean? Producing dazzling crystals. Dazzling crystal. Alright, well you go there then. Picky picky. I don't have anyone making the meats. Lost? Why are they lost? What does that mean? Jungle Island level 1. Sand Island. How many refreshes do I have? Does it not say? Okay, whatever. We're just gonna load up a little bit of everything. Confirm, confirm, deploy. And both of these have level 4, 4, 4, 3, 5. And then 4, 4, 4. I don't know. Deploy. Okay. And can I level this up? Ooh, level up. Level up. Level up. Level up. Oasis Core level 7. Sand Island level 6. Sand Island level 6. Okay. Alright, 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 alright. I don't even know if I need to level that shit up. I don't know anything about this island. Turning on my Pokemon cards. Yeah. Damn. It's not much. I feel like I wasn't farming anything. What happened? I was at like 6 billion earlier. I don't know. We're gonna go play PoE.
Damage. On skills, obviously mind control with the best support right here. We have corruption, we're automating it with preparation. Terrain of Malice is like blasphemy in PoE. It basically makes it so there's an area around you and just a little bit of extended duration, so it's always up. Blink is in our clear setup, so this one with quick mobility, cooldown recovery, and magic dash will make you extremely fast. This is also on our clear setup, which is blurry steps. This one gives you movement speed, a ton of it. And if you have like 100 FE for medium preparation, you never have to click it as well, and it's just automated. The problem with the free one, which is preparation, this one doesn't cost you anything, is it only procs every 8 seconds, whereas with blurry step, you really want to proc it every 5 seconds at least. But you can also replace those for the time being if you don't have the monies. Well-fought battle and Mass Effect just give you extra movement speed effect and extended duration for the uptime. Now, the second curse is a little bit different, so I currently have a pet that gives me +1 curse, and that is this one right here, Poison Omen. If you do not have that, you can also get it on a candle mod, or otherwise what you want to do is you want to completely remove the entangled pain for a more multiplier like a Mana Boil. Mana Boil just straight up gives you additional spell damage. You only need to activate it once at the start of the map, kind of like Blood Rage in PoE. Start it once and then it just degens you, but you're not even gonna feel it, and you just get more spell damage. And you would support it with similar things like Mass Effect and Well-Fought Battle.
Yeah, look at
Auras
these
in
graphics.
You're using 3 50% reservation auras, one of them on your life, which is seal conversion. It doesn't matter which one you put on life, these all are basically just more multipliers, more spell damage, more damage over time, and more erosion damage. 2 are on mana, 1 is on life. And then you also have Corrosion Focus, which is just there for the additional erosion damage, and it only takes 20% sealed mana. Now, the extra effect is kind of cute, but it doesn't do that much. If you're wondering why I'm putting some weird supports in here, which seem nonsensical, like Focus Acceleration or Increased Area, the reason for that is on our talent tree, we are Lich, which gives us off the beaten track. This makes it so your support skills have a 95% mana multiplier, which means the more support gems you have, the less mana you actually reserve. So it's actually a upside to just put random other garbage in here. As for passive trees, I already talked about the damage scaling. Other than the damage, you're just looking for as much energy shield as you possibly can. Energy shield recharge is also very strong. Talents on Goddess of Deception are Affliction, and then Forbidden Power. You can also cut this for Deceiver's Might. It's a little bit sketchier. You actually have to activate it. You have to do a movement skill and whatnot, so it doesn't always work. This one does give you minus 10 LE res. You can play around with this. It's a little bit too awkward for me, so I just went for the more damage. On Bleach, like I said, I have the off the beaten track to give me extra reservation. This one means I don't have to take any sealed or mana compensation and can still reserve everything I want. Do make sure that you take this note right here because it gives you blur whenever you start to charge. And once again, because of our body armor, that is basically it. On the psychic tree, once again, if you don't know what repurification does, check the intro again. Super important, most important part of the build. Otherwise, there's not really anything to write home about. Get as much reap CDR as you possibly can from the tree, from slates, whatever. Get as much energy shield as you can. Defense is also energy shield. And on Elementalist, you're just looking for focus, which is a huge, huge damage multiplier. And other than that, get some int, +1 max channel stacks. Very strong. As for slates, other than the pedigree we already talked about, there are a lot of Goddess of Deception mods that are quite good. So you can have a combination of reaping cooldown recovery speed, +2 levels, more damage against cursed, more damage if your life and mana is reserved at the same time. A lot of energy shield mods, right? So if you just randomly craft on these, you usually get a good combination. None of this was planned. None of this was re-rolled. It just kind of happened.
I'm not
so
just
really
trying out a few
Affliction effect
things.
is very good. The only super important mod, as I said in the intro already, is this 3% energy shield on the feet, and earlier in the life version, the life on the feet. This one you can get on a Goddess of Knowledge Slate or...
What?
Alone, at least.
What are you talking about? What is...
Maps? Like T16 maps?
Oh. It feels weird. I forgot how to play.
Yeah.
Everything looks so pretty in this game.
Yeah, it really doesn't look bad at all. I don't suppose you have a Breach XP tree.
I was just looking at that, and I do not. I don't think I have a breach tree.
Well, I have a Breach tree, so it's probably pretty easy to alter. I don't know if you have any of the scarabs or not.
My breach tree has like maps and scarabs. You mean the breach scarabs?
Yeah. I have 70. That's a good start.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And I have domination scarabs, so I have enough for 20 maps, so I don't really need any scarabs.
Do you want to open the maps and stuff? I can give you orbs if you need some. I have 700.
I'll have to if we're gonna use my tree. Otherwise, you'll have to respec your tree. I don't think it matters though.
What scarabs do we run?
3 breach scarabs and 2.
Oh, the evolution.
Domination scarabs of evolution. Yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 breach scarabs.
2?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have like a bajillion fucking scarabs.
I have.
You want to do some breach stones?
So many. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Do you have some?
I have like 30 of them.
Oh, you know, I have a few.
Well, I have 2 Chalua and I have like 9 of the other ones.
I have 2 Chiluas, whatever it is.
Be a good start, easy XP.
Yeah, let's try that first. How about?
Trying to remember. I think I have everything going. I don't remember having this many fucking buffs, but I do.
Well, you're getting 3 from me.
Clarity? Malevolence?
Well, I guess Skitterbots doesn't count. Yeah, you'll get Clarity, Malevolence, and then I think maybe some from my Mercenary too. But they're not active right now. But you'll get Haste and Inspire and Cry from my Mercenary too. I don't have the appropriate Mercenary for this build, but it's fine.
Are you going with Kinetic Blast?
Well, I haven't 100% decided.
Damn, Progenesis are down to 70?
I'm probably gonna do Penance Brand, cause it's way cheaper. Like, I don't have 2 mirrors to do like whole budget like Kinetic Blast.
Did you go
So,
Trickster? Yep.
Yes, yeah.
You
So I
would
think
play the
Penance-
same build as me.
You're also Trickster?
No.
Oh no, Penance Brand. You're Penance Brand. Well, Penance Brand is a good option because it's much cheaper than Kinetic Blast. And it'll allow me to run, especially on Trickster, it will allow me to run basically anything. I don't have to worry about weird mods and shit because I just don't care.
Yeah, Trickster's OP.
So, and it could do either build, Penance Brand or Kinetic Blast, so I decided to do that. And I'm really glad I did, because I was thinking about playing Deadeye, Kinetic Blast, but that's expensive too. Not as expensive as Trickster Kinetic Blast, but this way, with Trickster, I can just start with Penance Brand, and if I find myself just drowning in currency, I can change to Kinetic Blast. So I think we made the right decision. Oh, and I got to level.
Drowning in currency.
Yeah, which I'm currently not. So I'm gonna have to go farm even to get the Penance Brand running.
Give me just a second, something's wrong.
Oh, okay. I will just wait inside and not touch the breach.
Did it? Well, I guess it restarted my game.
Oh, you're offline. Yep. You change a setting or something?
Yeah. I can't stream the game with DirectX 12 for some reason. It doesn't work. To go back to 11.
Weird.
Yeah, I had to mess with all these settings the other day just to get it to work. You ready? Oh, I started.
Yes. Well, there's 15% of the level right there.
My game is lagging really bad.
I'm sure I would have had a good time leveling Deadeye too, but I've done that a bunch recently.
Did you buy a bunch of like twink gear?
A little. Not a bunch.
I was definitely comfortable throughout the campaign.
How many deaths do you have?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I mean, a bunch more now since I finished the campaign because I was trying to do breach maps and stuff.
Do you already do all your ascendancies?
Oh no, I need to do that. We should go do that. I need to do the last two.
Oh my god. Hello, game?
That is not the way, apparently.
I'm getting like 5 FPS. Oh shit.
Oh.
I can't pick it up.
You can't?
No.
I was gonna leave it for you, but I guess I can't. It's alright, I need like 400 divine, so I'm 1 divine closer, or however much that's worth. I'm 2 divine closer.
Is that all they're worth?
2.4 divine? On the trade site, at least.
It's pretty good. They were like
Sometimes
4 or 5
things
div.
are worth... Sometimes things are worth more if you sell them for gold. Sometimes it's the other way around. How much of a level was that? 74% of a level.
I expected a lot more.
Well,
You
I'm level
know,
70.
we should have started with the lower level breach zones.
Oh! Well... We still can. Next time. Yeah, you're totally right about that. This is 83.
What level are you? 71?
71. 72.
Well, I mean, now you're within almost 10 levels.
It'd be an interesting experiment. Maybe we'll just switch to the lowest one for shits and giggles, and let's just see how much XP it is.
Go, I switched to Vulcan and I'm not lagging no more.
Vulcan works pretty well. I'd probably choose that over DirectX 11. If it works for what you're doing.
Oh, it's not working. My stream is not working.
Well, there's another level. So obviously, the experience is more than last time.
Do you have any XP items on?
No.
I think there's only one, like a helmet. Why did I run out of mana? I don't remember running out of mana before.
How did you disappear? Oh, you just went outside to the...
You want some of the other breach zones?
Sure. I do have some.
I have the whole rainbow.